is up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse stars Shameik Moore, Jake Johnson, and Haley Steinfeld, and what this film is basically about. It's about Miles Morales, and what happens is he gets bitten by a radioactive spider, and now he's the Spider-Man for his universe. But what happens is other spider people from other dimensions come into his reality, and now they need to find a way to get home and to stop this threat. So what did I think of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Now, I was very excited going into this movie. When we heard that we were going to get a Spider-Man animated film, I was like, okay, this sounds cool. And when I heard it was going to focus on Miles Morales, I was like, okay, even cooler. We haven't seen this character in like an on-screen adaptation, so this should be fun. And then I heard it was going to be like this big movie where they intertwine with other Spider people. I was like, oh, okay, like this could actually be really cool. And then the trailers were really awesome. I loved them. Like, I was very excited to see what they could do with this movie. And, with almost each passing year, I ask myself the question why I love movies, and usually I get my answer in one film. In 2015, I got that answer with Mad Max Fury Road. In 2017, I got that answer with The Shape of Water. I feel like with 2018, I got that answer with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is a beautiful, creative, and it's inspiring movie. This movie is truly phenomenal. This is the best animated film I have seen since Toy Story 3. Easily. Like, I cannot believe how amazing this was. Like, I've liked a few movies from Sony Pictures Animation. They've, done some really good things. But I never knew they could pull something like this off. Not something like this. And they did. And it was incredible. Like, I love just about every millisecond of this movie. It is literally perfection, this film. And this film is... it is so fantastic. Like, it is everything, not just what I love about comic book movies, animated movies, but just what I love about movies in general, just rolled into one, and it just creates this spectacular film. But enough of me rambling on. Let's get into why I love this movie so much. First being with the positives, so let's get right into them. Alright, so let's get into my positives. And my positives are, first being the voice acting. The voice acting is truly incredible with this film. Everyone brings their A game and brings their characters to life with their voices. Shameik Moore as Miles Morales / Spider-Man is absolutely phenomenal in this. Absolutely loved him in this. He literally brought the character of Miles Morales to life with his performance. He is absolutely phenomenal in this film, and I absolutely loved the character of Miles Morales. Probably the best lead character in a comic book film I've seen in quite some time. He is a truly amazing character, and I loved seeing every minute of him during this film. And Shameik Moore just gives it his all in this. Like, he just embodies this character with just his voice, and he does such an amazing job of bringing the character to life with his voice, and he was absolutely fantastic in this film. Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker / Spider-Man is absolutely great. I never knew I needed to see a middle-aged Peter Parker down on his luck in my entire life, but I did, and it was absolutely glorious. And Jake Johnson honestly was the perfect person to get for this. Like, he is absolutely fantastic in this. I love his performance as well. He is absolutely great in this. Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy / Spider-Gwen. She is absolutely great too. I loved her in the film. Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir is another thing I didn't know I needed until now, and he was great. Like, he tries to act all, like, brooding all the time. It's amazing. Like, Nicolas Cage was literally the perfect person to get for this. Like, he just acts all brooding all the time and crap. It's great. Like, I loved him. John Mulaney as, Spider-Ham. Never knew I needed Spider-Ham either, but here we are, and now he's my Lord and Savior, because this man, this pig is absolutely great, and John Mulaney really does a great job bringing him to life as well. So he had some really great moments, and yeah, the voice acting is really good. You know, Lee Schreiber as Kingpin was great. I thought he did a fantastic job in the film. So yeah, the voice acting is really fantastic in this movie. Like I said, I think everyone brings their A game to this movie. Like, he does an absolutely fantastic job in the film. Like, everyone just really brings it their all and really brings their characters to life with their voice acting. My favorite thing about this whole movie is indeed the animation. The animation might be the best I've seen all decade, and I am not joking at all when I say this. The animation in this film is fantastic. Like, honestly, beyond fantastic. It is a literal comic book come to life. Just from the eye-popping visuals, just to the way characters move and the way, you know, things look. It's amazing in the atmosphere that this world builds is absolutely incredible, and the animation is so phenomenal with this movie. Like, I love the character design so much. Like, they're so great. Like I say, it's a literal comic book come to life, and it's a beautiful thing to see, honestly. Like, because really, you know, you don't really see that with comic book movies, even with animated ones, and it was cool to finally see a comic book movie kind of try to be a comic book come to life, and they absolutely do that in the best ways with the animation, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I absolutely love the animation with this film. Like, this is hands down, like, some of the best animation I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it is absolutely incredible, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I love the relationship between Miles and Peter in this. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's kind of like, you know, a teacher, you know, teaching the new protege in a way, and it's really great. Like, I really like their dynamic with each other. Like, it was definitely one of my favorite elements of this entire movie. Like, I absolutely loved their back and forth with each other. Like, their chemistry was honestly, like, really spot on. And Shameik Moore and Jake Johnson just seemed like they had natural chemistry with each other, and really showed in the film. I absolutely loved the two together. Like, they did an absolutely fantastic job in the film. I absolutely loved the dynamic between the two. The music is absolutely incredible, both the soundtrack-wise and the score-wise. The soundtrack is great. I really like the soundtrack a lot with this film. Definitely fit in a lot of the elements with this movie. I really enjoyed it a lot. The score with this movie, oh man, I love the score. Like, only one Spider-Man is definitely something I have been listening to since I've seen the movie. Like, it is absolutely fantastic. Like, I love the score with this movie. So yeah, it is absolutely fantastic, and the way that it plays out during scenes is really incredible. And yeah, so both the soundtrack and the score are really amazing in this movie. I loved every second of them. The writing is absolutely fantastic with this film. I love the writing with this movie. Like, it's so clever, and it's so awesome. Like, literally, this is like perfect writing in my opinion. Like, the jokes land hard. Like, there are times where I'm just dying because of how funny it is, honestly, because it gets really, really funny at points for me, and I really was laughing a lot. A lot of the dialogue was great too. I really think easily some of the best dialogue I've heard in a comic book movie, to be honest. Like, I love the dialogue with this. And even when they get, like, you know, when you get to, like, really emotional scenes and stuff like that, it's really executed very well, honestly, and, you know, they do a very good job with them, you know, like, it definitely does have an emotional effect on you, and they do an absolutely fantastic job with that in the film. So yeah, the writing is absolutely incredible with this movie. I love the writing so much. The directing is really fantastic with this movie too. It's very well shot, The editing is really cool too. So yeah, I really love the directing with this film, and the pacing is fantastic. This movie is an hour and 56 minutes, I believe, and there's never a time where I'm bored. I am invested into this movie 100%. And for a movie that's almost 2 hours, and the fact that not a single time I was bored, I applaud that, because I wasn't bored a single time watching this. I was invested into this movie 100%. I didn't want it to end, to be honest. Like, I really did not want this to end. I just want this to keep on going and going and going, because that's how much of an awesome ride I was on with this. Just skip to overall. Just skip to overall. Just go to overall. Just go to overall. So overall, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best comic book movies, one of the best animated movies, and just one of the best movies I think I've ever seen in general, to be honest. It is a phenomenal film. It is really, truly everything I love about movies rolled into one, and, I just loved every second of this. This was like I said, in the beginning, a beautiful, creative, and inspiring movie, and it is so incredible. Like, I loved every minute of this, and I truly did not want it to end. Like, I wanted this to keep on going and going and going, because I love these characters so much. I love the animation so much. Like, just everything about this movie was literal perfection, and I can't really praise this movie enough. If you haven't seen it yet, you really should. It is a movie that is definitely worth your time, and worth seeing, honestly. Like, it is absolutely incredible. I know some people are kind of sick of seeing Spider-Man because there's so many movie adaptations of him, but like, you need to see this. Like, this is beyond any Spider-Man movie that has been released thus far, to be honest. Like, it is truly incredible, and definitely a movie that shows me why I love film so much, and the reason why I do this YouTube channel, to be honest, because it's so incredible, and I just loved every minute of it. If you couldn't tell, it's an A+. Like, I feel like it's an A+. Like, seriously, it is truly a phenomenal film, and one that I think everyone should see if you haven't already. It is truly worth your time. I loved every minute of it. So, if you have seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, what did you think of it? Please leave in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we will see you about later. Peace.